All right, chat. Time for a lot of y'all's favorite time. It's been a bit. I gotta get caught back up. It's been a little too long. We're back with some Roll for Sandwich. Currently on episode 253. I think they're into the 300s at this point. So we got a lot. We got a lot to catch up on. So let's go.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these frostbite dice that were sent in by a viewer. Thanks. Let's get things started with our roll for...
Am I crazy, or did they change the layout for TikTok on desktop again? I feel like this feels weird to me.
bread. 5 sourdough. I will never be sad rolling sourdough. It's a good start for a sandwich. Let's hope it continues. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 8 pastrami. Pastrami is similar to corned beef, but has a couple key differences, including a spice-rubbed exterior. It is a slightly different cut of brisket that includes a little bit more fat and marbling. And typically after curing, pastrami is smoked, whereas corned beef is not. And it is delicious. 2 for 2. All right.
I love pastrami, but I had it low-key ruined for me. Not that recently, it was like 8 months ago, because I bought some pastrami, and then my mom came over, and my mom was doing like mom things. She was trying to be helpful, right? She was like helping tidy up some stuff when I wasn't looking. And one of the things she did was she opened my fridge. For some reason, she took some of the deli meat out of the deli meat drawer and put it in the fucking door. You know, like the little butter flap thing. She put it in there, and I didn't notice. And so time goes by, and I'm like, holy shit, my fridge smells horrendous. And I clean the entire thing out. But I didn't clean out the door, because the door was just condiments and butter. Nothing over there could be smelling that bad, right? Fucking wrong. And so when I found it, it was like the bag had inflated. Like the bag was like fat and full of air, because it was the nastiest shit. And I was like, I literally have not had pastrami since. It ruined it for me.
All right, next up, let's roll for cheese.
I didn't know it was in there. I didn't know. It got moved. And I was like, what the f***? Why is this here?
No cheese. No cheese on this sandwich is criminal. Also, fun fact, the first sandwich I ever made on Roll for Sandwich was a pastrami sandwich with no cheese. All right, let's roll for our roughage.
I do not remember that.
12 roll twice and 11 none. So the dice just decided to waste my time for a little bit. All right, rolling 2 dice for that 12. 5 Hungarian pepper and 6 green pepper. This green pepper's got me feeling
What is Hungarian?
Frown. I really like green pepper
Oh, that was my old apartment. It's not my problem anymore.
on sandwiches. They're not overtly sweet like some of the
It wasn't
other
bad. I just had to clean the shit out of it.
varieties of bell pepper, and they have a really nice crunch to them while still being pretty juicy. I will take it. This is a Hungarian wax pepper. Something I'm trying for the first time today.
Okay, call me crazy. Is that not what a habanero looks like? Isn't that just look like a big ass habanero? No? That just looks like a big habanero.
Pepper. Something I'm trying for the first time today.
No? Okay, well that's what it looks like in my head.
They are a variety of peppers similar to banana peppers. Their taste is slightly sweet and a little bit spicy, but even less spicy than a jalapeno. It's a really faint hint
They're round and orange. Yeah, but what if they look like that?
of that capsaicin flavor. If a bell pepper is a 0 on the scale, I'd call this thing a 1. Flavor-wise, I think we did all right. 2 different kinds of peppers should work out pretty well. Let's hit it with a little wild magic. 7, that is Sweethearts. Sweethearts, also known as conversation hearts, are a Valentine's Day candy. They are usually decorated with traditional Valentine's Day sayings like and kill me. Yep, nothing says I love you like antacids masquerading as candy. They're gonna be a sandwich. And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go.
Oh man.
7 again.
Those things are
soy
disgusting.
sauce. Taste-wise, this will go fine with everything but the...
I know this is totally random. You know the guy who does like the boring he's like he like basically tries to replicate recipes and rate them 1 through 10. And he's like I think his channel is literally called like boring or something, right? I saw this guy a couple times last night make the craziest looking chicken or beef or well, the recipe was beef, but he used chicken. It was supposedly turning it into Wagyu. That's what the original video was. And they were using like, they like basically like cooked it in soy sauce and it looked delicious. And now I want it.
Candy. Seems a little redundant to add more umami.
Also, this thing's cooked.
Pastrami.
This thing is so cooked.
Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's go ahead and get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross section. Huh.
That's pretty bad.
This honestly probably would have been a pretty good sandwich to use my night card on. But in true D&D fashion, I'll probably save it forever and forget that I have it eventually. Let's give this one a taste. Card?
Wait, what was the night card? I don't remember.
Well, that first bite didn't have any candy in it, and it's not bad at all. But, you know, that can't be my full review. Oh, ooh. It's like a rock right in the middle of, yeah, it's such a jarring transition of both flavor and texture. Gosh, I hope I didn't just break a filling. Yeah, this tastes really bad. Sweethearts are basically just sugar cubes, but worse.
Sweethearts are gross anyways.
And anytime I get a bite with them in it, it's pretty much entirely ruined. Just such a dominant flavor. Without the candy, this would have been a pretty decent sandwich, although a little dry. With cheese and mayo or some mustard, this would be a winner.
Ugh.
Today, I think I'm going to give this one a 1.3, and I'm going to call it the heart attack.
Why even above a 1? Just give it like
Thanks
a
so much for hanging out, everybody.
0.5.
Have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday.
I guess when you've had the horrendous sandwiches this guy's had over the years, you can't even be mad.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go! Today's episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by GuiCube and their new crowdfunding campaign for the Tomb of Gygax. The Tomb of Gygax is a new role-playing adventure that honors the late, great Gary Gygax, one of the creators of Dungeons & Dragons.
Dude, he farm sponsors
GuiCube
these
sent
days.
Me one of their previous projects,
actually
so you can see the level of
farms.
detail that they put into their work. The Tomb of Gygax adventure features many nods to classic D&D and is being made as a partnership with Luke Gygax, Gary Gygax's son. The project is currently funding on Kickstarter, and you can find a link to that Kickstarter page in my bio. GuiCube even sent some GuiCube dice that we're going to use to roll for our sandwich today. As a special bonus for today's episode, Luke Gygax has promised to personally taste whatever sandwich the dice roll today in a follow-up video. All right, and without any further ado, let's roll for bread.
It's going to be horrendous, isn't it?
Today we're living dangerously with untoasted white bread. Let's roll for our main.
Yeah, well, thanks,
6, turkey. Turkey on white bread was definitely a frequent brown bag lunch that I took to school as a kid. Let's roll for some cheese.
Hot take? No, I don't totally stand by this, but turkey's not my favorite deli meat.
5, Fontina.
It's always a little dry.
Fontina is a mild and creamy cheese with Italian
origins. It's like chicken.
Origins. Should
like
fit really
chicken
well
as a deli
turkey.
meat. Not my favorite.
This roll, we have left the realm of my childhood school lunches. I'm not complaining. We have a tasty sandwich so far. Hopefully we can...
Nice potential spam phone call. Love to see it.
Next up, we're going to roll for some roughage. 3 watermelon and 10 tomato. Longtime fans of the show will know I'm not the biggest watermelon fan, just not a huge fan of melon in general. But I'm always willing to give new combinations a try because you never know when you'll be surprised.
Melon's alright.
Raw tomato is one of my favorite sandwich toppings. It's a great way to add a little moisture and acid to a sandwich. Definitely one of my go-tos when I actually get to pick. Let's hit it with a little wild magic. 18, au jus. French for with juice.
Oh no, not this again.
The Americans used for this gravy made with beef drippings. I froze it in cubes for easy access. Warmed up, it's all thawed and ready for dipping. Last but not least, the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 12.
Wet sandwich, ew.
Talk about a perfect roll. Kewpie mayo is a rich Japanese mayonnaise made with more egg yolks than typical mayonnaise, making it more savory. I feel like mayo goes perfectly with both turkey and raw tomato.
Okay, this is actually a hot take, and I know it is. I've had Kewpie mayo. It's not bad, but I'm just saying Cane's mayonnaise is the best. Nothing beats it. Every other brand is shit comparison. Duke's, not as good. Hellman's, absolute trash. Kewpie mayo, probably about as close as you're going to get. Cane's, best. Not even close.
We lucked out. Let's get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's get it flicked in half. And let's take a look at that cross section.
Okay.
That looks pretty good. Well, really, the only thing I'm worried about is the watermelon here. Definitely had many worse sandwiches than this. Looks like me and Luke both lucked out. Let's get an inaugural dip here, and let's give this bad boy a taste.
I'm in the shower and I stepped out of it to tell you that au jus is gas and you need yourself a gourmet French dip.
I don't believe you. Thanks to 17 months. I don't believe you.
That is really good. The rich mayo is perfect, and that combined with the salty au jus pulls it in a direction far away from the sweetness of the watermelon.
I don't want to dip my sandwich in
I
liquid.
love a good raw tomato sandwich with just tomato, mayo, and white bread. And this is kind of checking that box while adding turkey and cheese. Structurally, it's a little messy, but I think I would still prefer it with soft white bread than toasted white bread. Well, we'll see if Luke shares my opinion or not, but I'm liking this sandwich. I'm actually going to go as far as to give this one an 8.9.
Okay, what are you supposed to have it with? Is it supposed to be sandwiches or?
Gang kakor yeehaw something can I get a hoo ya eat? Crab.
Wow, it's changed you. Thank you for the 46 months cake. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to call it Melon Canaan's Fantastic Sandwich. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again on Friday.
Prime rib French dip sandwiches. What is a French dip sandwich? What is even in that? I saw something recently and I agreed. I was like, how do you know you're eating French food? It's like it's too expensive and you're wondering if you actually, like, how much you paid for it's worth the price. That's how you know you're eating French food. That's it.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these ducky dice that I've used on the show once before. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 6 tomato basil bread. I picked up this loaf of tomato basil bread at my local bakery. It smells pretty great. I'm excited to use it for a sandwich.
I always watch these and I think, man, I really got to go to a local butcher. I got to go to a local bakery. And then I just never it.
Hopefully.
Because one, either I'm not awake at that time in the morning, or 2, they close early, or 3, it's just so much easier to go to a grocery store.
Next up, let's roll for Maine. 7 jamon serrano. Jamon serrano is similar to prosciutto, but not quite the same. Jamon serrano is dry cured and comes from Spain. It's very rich and salty, often eaten as charcuterie. So we're getting fancy with this sandwich. Hopefully the rest is good because I really don't want to waste this.
What was it called again? Jamon serrano? Hang on, we're gonna pull out the list here. Hold up. I gotta look this up. This looks gas.
Jamon serrano is dry cured and comes from Spain. It's very rich and salty, often eaten as charcuterie. So we're getting fancy with this sandwich. Hopefully the rest is good because I really don't want to waste this. Next up, we got some cheese. 3 Swiss. I think Swiss was probably one of our better options to pair on this sandwich, but honestly, I'm just happy we rolled cheese at all. So far, so good. Next up, let's roll our roughage. 7 rainbow chard and 10 tomato. Chard is mild, earthy, and just a little bitter. You can use it in a lot of places where you would normally use spinach. Using the stems from this variety gives you a nice pop of color. I think this will be an interesting addition to the sandwich. I can see it pairing well with a little bit of bitterness and funk in the Swiss cheese, and the earthiness going well with the tomato basil bread. Including some of the stalks will give us a nice crunch.
I don't like the stalks.
Should be a fine addition.
Stalks are like...
And tomato here really is a no-brainer. We've already got the flavor of tomato from the tomato basil bread, though that's a little more concentrated with that sun-dried tomato type flavor. This will add some nice moisture to the sandwich.
Herbs in this one.
Balance some of the salt
between the bread.
Next up, let's roll some wild magic.
And all the veggies. That's a lot of
12.
That's a lot of.
We have MSG.
Earth.
3 spring rolls, please.
MSG.
Ow, my stomach lining.
MSG has actually gotten an unfair rap over the years. It's a great way to add salt and umami to your food, and its history of negative public perception is mostly due to marketing. All right, and last but not least, the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 11, hot honey. Hot honey is just as it sounds, honey infused with red hot chili peppers. I found it under a bridge and I can't stop eating it. Maybe I should give it away? I don't know. I don't think it's hurting the sandwich.
Mike's hot honey is a staple in my household these days.
Let's go ahead and get things closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's cut it in half. Let's take a look at that cross section. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Kind of like the fancy one today. I think we dodged all the major bullets. Let's see how it holds up. Let's give it a taste.
There'll probably be a winner. Probably a nice solid 8.8.
All right, we'll go with the cons first. Jamon, prosciutto, these kinds of meats end up being kind of chewy when they're on a sandwich. But flavor-wise, this thing's great. I think the Swiss is fine, but I think I would have preferred a mozzarella or provolone. But all in all, this is a pretty good sandwich. That tomato basil bread is a really nice change-up. And the hot honey is a subtle and interesting addition. Maybe you could have used another sauce in addition to that. Something
Solid.
with a little bit of acid. But all in all, pretty good.
No, I'm sticking with the 8.8.
Give this one a 9. And I'm going to call
Close.
it the Spanish Flea.
Close.
Thanks for hanging out with me today, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday.
Solid 9. Not bad.